Hello everyone. Welcome. STL Sanford. Hope y'all doing okay. I was a bit stressed out watching this draft. The 2025 draft was something that I have never, ever witnessed in my life. It was unfreaking believable. I've been a football fan since 1972. Some of y'all know that I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I started watching the draft back in 1974, I think it was. But anyway, what I witnessed this week was just unbelievable. It was the craziest thing I had ever witnessed. You got a college football player, the stature of Shiloh Sanders, who was picked to go between 1 and 4th pick in the first round. It didn't happen. Shadeur sat there for 3 days. Almost the end of the third day of the draft, he got picked. That has never, ever happened. I watched players sit and sweat through 32 picks in the first round, and they got drafted in the second round. But to go as far as to the 5th, the number 4, number 5 player to be picked in the 5th round, never in the history of the NFL draft has that happened. And there's a reason for it. They start out within 3 weeks of the draft putting out negative things about Shadeur Sanders. Bad attitude. Now, I've been watching this man for 4 years, people. Jackson State in Colorado. Watch him on YouTube. And a lot of y'all can agree with me. You've never seen this man out of character. This is one of the best person to play football that we've ever seen. He's one of the best. I mean, image spotless. And then all of a sudden, here goes the game to be played. Okay, let's take him down. And the reason why they want to take him down because a statement that his father made. And the statement that his father made, and the reason for the statement is because this man loved his son. And you know, sometimes love can be, it can get us in trouble because we can take it too far. It's hard for some of us to be able to balance the love that we give to our kids and not cause any negative issue, whether by us or their friends or another family member. In Shadeur case, NFL. The real reason behind Shadeur getting drafted as late as he did was because the statement that Deion made maybe about 3 months ago. His son would not play for Nashville, with Tennessee was one of them. I can't remember if it was Cleveland, the other. And Cleveland needed a quarterback. So what the 32 owners did was made a power move on Deion. They want to show Deion that you have no choice in where your son play. You cannot dictate to the National Football League about where your son can play or cannot play. You are not bigger than the NFL brand. They want Deion Sanders to know this. In case he didn't know, they're going to show him, and they did. What Deion did was to do the same thing that Archie Manning did back in the early 2000s. Archie Manning put out a notice in the NFL, the West Coast team, do not choose my son. We don't want my son playing in the West Coast. Okay. The San Diego Charger drafted him, but traded him to New York Giants where he retired. Deion thought, okay, I'll do the same thing. Nope. Deion, you cannot do the same thing. No, Deion. They let Deion know you don't have the power that you think you have. This is not Jackson State. This is not Colorado. This is the NFL. You up here with the big boys now, dude. You trying to come up here with the big boys. No, we're stopping you right there in your tracks. You're not going to dictate to us where Shadeur are going to play. So what they did, and all 32 owners was complicit in this, they didn't draft him in the first round. The teams that need a quarterback didn't draft him in the second round. Team that need a quarterback didn't draft him in the third round, the fourth round. He was about, what, the fifth player pick in the fifth round? There was quarterback pick ahead of him, couldn't even touch the record he had playing college ball. 2 years at Jackson State, they couldn't touch that. 2 years at Colorado, no one can touch that. But they went before him because they want to show prime time. You don't run this show. We do. We got this. Not you do. They put a gangster move on Deion, and his son had to pay the price. They didn't care how stretched out that Shadeur was. They was hell-bent on showing Deion that you are not going to pick where your son can play. We're doing the picking. We choose where he can play. And they picked him in the fifth round. So he don't get that first round money. Also, he doesn't have that fifth year option where the team can hold on you as a rookie when you're drafted in the first round. I think the first and second round. But you got that 4 years that you have to play under that rookie contract. So hopefully that he goes in and shine like hell, like he did in college. And he'll be able to sign a big contract, a fat contract. And I think he will. You look at my boy in Cincinnati, doing it, name slipped me, played for my favorite school, LSU. And he signed a big contract after his fifth year, and $200-some million. This is what's going to happen to Shadeur. And Shadeur is a good player. They try to throw everything negative at him. They even say he can't throw. He's not athletic. And he makes some of the best throws there is. Percentage higher. Then they use the fact that, well, look who he played against. He played in the Big 12. He played in the Big 12. No slouch. So the teams allow Cleveland, and this was all orchestrated. This was well planned out. They allowed Cleveland to pick him finally. Also, I was happy that they allowed Shiloh. He was not drafted at all, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed him to a free agent contract. Shiloh was the hardest hitting defensive back in all of college football. The man is strong, the man is tough. But they decided to make him pay the price too. One thing about Shiloh, and he noticed right away. He noticed in the third pick of the first round, he went up to his brother. He said, "Bruh, if they ain't picking you by now, something is wrong. He said, if they doing this to you, what do you think is going to happen to me? And he was right. He saw that right away. He smelled the crap. They didn't draft him, but he was able to sign a free agent contract. So, free agent, you really going to get pennies. But he's going to prove himself, and he's going to make the money also. And Shadeur, I really felt bad for him, man. 3 days during the draft, you had to wait. But the man, now, let me say this. If he was arrogant as they say, why did he not show that when they all passed him up 32 times for 4 rounds? Think about that. 32 times for 4 rounds, they passed him up. And they just say, hey, we'll get you later, dude. When they got into the 4th round, I had a feeling, I said, okay, I don't think they're going to let this drag too long. They're going to get him between the 5th and 6th. And they got him in the 5th. I'm glad he got drafted. And he showed a lot of class. He showed a lot of class about not being drafted. He talked to the Cleveland Browns. He thanked them. And he approved to them that he's good, that they didn't make a mistake. And he thanked God. He knew the whole time that God was on his side. Because this man done nothing wrong. Nothing. All the things they said about him, being arrogant and this, that, and other, and didn't want to do this, and saying this, saying that, bold-faced lie. I don't know why people would lie on someone. I really can't understand that. I just don't understand it. But anyway, all's well ends well. Shadeur is now an NFL player. I'm quite sure this is Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday when he got picked. I'm quite sure Sunday he flew to Cleveland and he's on their Cleveland radio station and letting everybody see him, how happy he was. And you know what I really like? When they made that announcement, I'm going to show y'all in the video in a few seconds. When they announced that the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round with the 4th pick, they said Shadeur. They could not get his last name out. The crowd erupted. They erupted. I said, wow, look at this. America is behind him. Trust me, Americans will not be behind a man that is arrogant, that's full of himself. They wouldn't. But they was behind Shadeur. And I just said, wow, check this out. I was just happy to see that man. I was moved by that. I love America. I really do. We got some good people here. But check out this video of the when they called his name. You're going to love it. Hit that subscribe, share, and like button for me. Thank you.
Some 5th round maneuvering as the Cleveland Browns moved into position to take the 6th pick of the 5th round, 144 overall, and perhaps there might have been a moment of foreshadowing. Let's see, officially, the Browns are going to do.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shiloh Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Cleveland has been discussed as a potential destination for Shadeur Sanders really throughout this draft process. At one point maybe really early, at another point early in the 2nd round, And then here it comes in the 5th round finally. Shiloh Sanders, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, set a Colorado record with 37 touchdown passes. Helped revitalize that Colorado program along with Travis Hunter. And then this draft process has been most unusual. Started at Jackson State, playing for Deion Sanders at the FCS level, then transferred up.
Then he back to Colorado. He didn't have an offensive line in 2023, and then this past year, really both years, not much of a running game at all. Okay, guys like Murray and Hampton and Ashton Jeffy had more rushing yards in a game and a half than their top rushers did all year. But you look at the accurate, precise passes. One thing to be accurate, another to be precise. Shadeur Sanders is. When he's getting pressure, he has that feel, and then he will take a little off, and he will layer throws. A lot of college quarterbacks don't do that. He already gets that element of playing quarterback, which you will have to be in the NFL. The deep ball accuracy, he showed it at the Combine, he showed it at Colorado, he showed it at Jackson State. The ability to slip and slide. Yeah, he's not going to run a 4.6, but within the pocket, just give the kid a fighting chance. Colorado rarely did. When he had an opportunity, you saw their strength there to Will Shepherd. Again, there were games like Oregon where he had no shot. Here he avoided the initial pass rusher. He rolled right, he made a throw. This fact is like, this out there just talk, he's not athletic, it's a bunch of BS. It's not true. This kid can avoid, he can move, and he can make throws against his body like this. Key play against Baylor in that football game, Lou. I don't get it. I know you don't, but here we are in the 5th round, Cleveland Browns. Get a guy who should have been, in my opinion, a first-round pick, a high first-round pick. And you look at the sliders, right? The guys that have slid. The NFL gets it. They know everything. No, they don't, because the guys that have slid have done really well. Gino got into the 2nd round. He's looked pretty well, right? Jimmy Cross and Brady Quinn didn't. But then Sir Aaron Rodgers, Chad Pennington went 18. Brett Favre, 2nd round. Boomer Esiason, 2nd round. Dan Marino, late 1st round, and now you have a situation with Shadeur dropping to the 5th round. Tom Brady, everybody said, okay, this is a 6th round pick. When Tom Brady was drafted, there was a quarterback that went 18. That was Chad Pennington. The quarterback went in the 3rd round. That was Giovanni Carmazzi from Hopkins. When Tom Brady got there, we tell Robert Kraft. They call us all. Hey, you're our 6th round pick. Said, yeah, you're the best decision your organization ever made. That's me, right? So talk about, are you confident, cocky, are you arrogant, or are you charismatic? There's that fine line there. I think there's a lot of perspective isn't reality in regards to Shadeur and Deion. Deion's not going to interfere. Deion's not going to be calling the coach. Deion's not going to be commenting about Shadeur while he's in Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of just fake news out there surrounding the Sanders family and Shadeur and Deion.
Yeah, look, if you get out of your feelings, and I'm saying people who have feelings about Shadeur Sanders and just objectively evaluate him as a quarterback, it's hard not to like what he can do. A lot of mental horsepower. Talk to Pat Shermer out there in Boulder, his offensive coordinator, full field reads, the ability to really decipher pre-snap and then adjust post-snap, put the ball where it needs to be put. He's got that. This nonsense about the fact that he's not a good athlete, he's just an average athlete, this is just one play where he is able to buy time. He doesn't have a strong arm. That's nonsense too. He can put the ball wherever it needs to be put at the NFL level, all 3 levels, across the field, drive it into tight windows. He's got a lot going for him from a physical skills perspective and how he plays the quarterback position. This whole situation transcended how he plays the position and really became about, do you like him as a person or not? And that's why he's here in the 5th round, getting drafted to the same team after Dillon Gabriel. Simple as that.
Well, they started 40 quarterbacks.